Fabbyyy in competitive play, even actually drawing a lot of bans against him for it. So it's something he likes to play. And Quas is a guy who has been performing pretty well here for NRG.
Well, we'll see if the picks that NRG chooses today give Team Liquid something to worry about. Matt says they're going to be able to go through this one pretty quickly. Be one of those top tier teams that NRG has on their list and show they're there for a reason.
I always find it interesting. Twitch is something that, against the guys who play it, it's almost always banned, but there's so many teams that just never play it. So you think when it's this high priority against these players who are so good at it, more players will be picking it up and actually playing it. Because, if people only really ban it against people like OQ, but against him, it's almost always banned. So it's one of those things sometimes where teams have a lot of practice against it, so they're worried about it.
Definitely takes an aggressive mentality as an AD carry. Walk up, flask, be the first guy to the fight, but also know your boundaries immediately. And when you have a player that like OQ that can do that, you want to ban it out.
It's certainly a cool play style, but not going to be on the table.
Let's get a Twitch Vayne going on.
Hell yeah, man. We got Shen, Cassiopeia, and Sivir taken off the table here for NRG.
Ooh.
And Vladimir left up. It has been a bit of a GBM special. Would not be surprised to see that locked in, but it's going to be the Rek'Sai for Santorin. And it is very strong. Does leave up a fair bit in the mid lane, including Vladimir, who FeniX has also liked to play a lot. It's also leaving up Karma, which has been another kind of first round rotation pick very heavily throughout this split. Those are two that I'd be looking at for TL to answer back with, and it's going to be exactly that, Karma and Vladimir locked in.
I love the way that these guys are picking. They're like, yo, powerhouse picks across the board. We'll take those as well. A lot of damage in those two picks.
And GBM already just insta-locks Viktor. These guys are going very quickly through.
I've actually been wondering where the Viktor has been going for GBM. He went all the way to Ari before we saw him go back to the Viktor.
Yeah, and GBM has not really been having a great season this time around. Last split, he was absolutely crushing as far as stats win, damage share. He was always at the very top. This time, he's actually been struggling. He's been in the very low end of really all the mid laners in North America, and has, I think, been trying to kind of find his niche, trying to find what's going to work for him, and perhaps that's pushing him to some of these other champions to really try to figure something out.
Communication. Quas is saying, you sure you don't want to pick my top laner right now? Like, you want this Braum? I think they just want that Braum. We have seen a little bit more Alistar play come in from people since the Sona's been out, some more sustain there. But it's going to be the AD carry. They go for the Lucian. Safe pick for OQ.
Yep. And they're looking at contested picks. They say, hey, Fabbyyy, he plays Lucian. Lucian Karma, strong bot lane. Let's take that away.
Right.
And look at these picks coming in so fast. And
I totally forgot about the Ashe, too.
Yeah, it's going to be Ashe and Hecarim. And I was actually kind of wondering, I didn't want to jinx it, but Dardoch already had his Ghost selected. So I was thinking maybe he's going to be playing Olaf or Hecarim. Sometimes that can actually give away the team's picks.
Yep.
Obviously, their opponents cannot see that in Champion Select, so I don't really have to worry about that. But it is going to be this so far.
I like it. Aggression from both sides. We said in game yesterday as well, we haven't seen too many disengage comps anymore. Everybody is just banging heads as soon as they get in the game.
Yeah, and they're leaving Lourlo with the last pick here, which I actually really like, because this is a guy who's been crushing lately. He's been doing so well in top lane, really does not get as much credit as he deserves. From 1v1 outplays to fantastic team fighting, Lourlo has been bringing it all. He is one of the best players in the league on Irelia, which is also an S-tier pick right now, and leaving the counter pick for him is going to make it tough. And if we see Quas go to a Gnar, which may be the case, it could be tough for him, because that goes right into the Irelia. This kind of just sets him up for that great 1v1 lane.
It may just be that.
Yeah, there
it is. Locks it in. We'll talk about it more in the game, but it's been very interesting for Lourlo to start on all these tanks, come in as the Riven lover, the guy who mains Riven, plays Riven, don't get to see that, and you're like, oh, okay, so another player that was just talked up. But we may see those plays start to come to fruition for him now. He's been putting up those numbers. The teams are locked in on both sides. More fight compositions. I absolutely love it. And I feel like NRG got the team that they wanted. TL definitely getting a team that they wanted.
Yeah, I think that TL really has some very, very strong lanes here. Irelia should be advantageous in the top lane. I think their bot lane duo is stronger in that 1v1. Dardoch is going to be playing a very explosive jungler, something that he excels at. So excited to see how this goes. If you're Quas, you have to play this lane very carefully. You cannot afford to give Lourlo a big lead. And we saw that he's a guy that can carve it out in this exact matchup. Just yesterday, he was smashing Darshan in this very matchup. So Quas is going to have to play it very, very safe, and Santorin's going to have to work well with him because you already know Dardoch and Lourlo are becoming one of the best top lane jungle duos in the league. They know how to get that lane going. They know how to snowball it.
A little bit of confidence towards that top lane, and it has done wonders for Liquid. Time to cheer your team on to victory. Get online, share some tweets, use the hashtag NRGWin or the hashtag TLWin to show your support as we head into match for our first game of the Sunday matches. We are literally so close to the end of the split already. It feels like it almost just started, even though we've had so many more games than before.
It's kind of crazy how fast it does go by, and I'm right there with you, man. I was just thinking the same thing yesterday. And I'm like, what the heck? We only have a week or two left of the season. What's happening?
So it's getting so much more hype. Everything's setting it up the way we want. Hashtag not even scripted. And we're going to be on the Rift now. Double teleport composition from Liquid on the Vladimir and the Irelia in the top lane. So it looks like GBM does take that kill pressure with Ignite on FeniX, also to help cut that healing.
So this is something already TL is doing as an adaptation. So they're saying, okay, NRG is actually going to try to avoid our lane because we have the Karma, so they may go for deep wards. So you sneak your duo lane straight up into that top lane, and then basically they may try to show the Lourlo even to be like, oh, hey, Irelia's up here. And then they're not going to be able to see where the bot lane duo is. They swap away to the top side, and hopefully for Liquid, get that 2v2 matchup. So we'll see if they're able to actually kind of mind game them into this. And that's exactly why they did this, because if NRG goes for a 5-man invade, for example, and gets deep wards, their bot lane duo is already in the lane, so they can't spot it. And now it's just really up to NRG. How are they going to react, and can they anticipate this, or are they even aware? Sometimes you kind of mind game yourself a little bit, you know, where the other team has no idea what's even happening, so they don't react. Yeah,
it seemed like they will.
No, and for Liquid, this is probably going to be a bit disappointing because they would love to have Irelia matched up against the Gnar, and they would love to have this 2v2 with the Karma advantage. They tried to basically call this out and assume that NRG would lane swap into it, but it's not going to happen. And still, a nice try. Clever.
Now they're playing the if it doesn't work situation. Keep it clean in the early game. Don't do anything too crazy. And it looks like FeniX and GBM are going to have some alone time in the mid lane.
And they're also kind of setting up here to maybe cheese Quas out. If Quas goes too far up, he could be in some... Okay, never mind. They're actually just going to poke him out right away. Okay, I was thinking that they were going to go for some more damage, but I guess they decide, hey, we actually are going to have no chance of killing him, so just deny the XP. So they're keeping him away from the XP and any gold, whereas Lourlo, you can see he got 3CS. Quas may not be able to get any of that. So just kind of going for the guaranteed advantage instead of a riskier play for maybe a summoner or something.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to try to hug that side of the tri-brush as well and say, push to the turret, maybe I'll be in range. But OQ and Kiwikid are actually pushing that one.
Yeah, and Lourlo.
Tad slow.
Lourlo's
really
hanging out.
Crushing it down.
He wants to try to soak up XP as it crashes to the wave. So he's going to hide in this bush, and he will be in XP range. And okay, so the TP comes in, now he's going to bail out.
They actually had that assist ping. He goes to the top side, trying to keep everything even Steven here, and the CS is looking very even, actually, all across the board, except for that CS that Lourlo picked up. The game changer of 3.
Oh, yeah. Insurmountable.
Raptor for Raptor as we keep it mirrored. Fabbyyy, you can see he's taking damage as he just holds off some minions on the side. I think they might give all of this gold over to Lourlo as it would be as well as Quas on the bottom side.
GBM actually missed a lot of CS in the mid lane because when you look how fat this wave is stacked up here, and they're basically tied, but FeniX has like 10 plus more minions to actually potentially catch up. So we'll see how well FeniX is actually able to CS under turret, but if he does a good job, he's going to end up ahead in that matchup. And it can be tough to CS early game with that Vladimir. Your auto damage is just one of the lowest.
Doing it pretty good. If you get a Tides of Blood out for a bit of damage, you get that attack in. Power 1 goes down. GBM doing a great job at the harass onto FeniX. FeniX still is able to get a bit of a lead with that CSing under the turret, and Quas drops in the bottom lane. Now it's about that quick movement. You see that Fabbyy's going to be going down bot with Matt. How do they keep changing this one? Kill pressure from both supports. So if they meet up, this could be big once they hit 6.
And this is where there can be some adaptation as far as the lane swap goes. Some of these teams elect to try to defend their next turret instead of going for a straight-up trade. But for now, it looks like it is going to be that straight-up trade.
Yep.
But TL does have the lead as far as kind of getting to this lane faster and really going to be able to, hopefully for them, get a faster push going. You can see that Braum is actually moving back down to bot lane. So this is kind of hinting that they want to maybe try to defend here with their jungler, mount a 3-man defense, and have their AD carry just kind of solo pushing here. And if TL does not expect this and they cannot pull off a dive, then it will be advantage to NRG. And so far, so good for NRG as they're going to be moving up, and we'll see what TL can actually get done, what the response is going to be.
I think they may be calling a somewhat of an audible. Kiwikid walked away for a moment. He obviously still has time to come back, but once the majority of TL get here, this could be very dangerous for NRG. They're giving TL a long time to set up.
Look at Kiwi, though. He's actually hiding there. They're trying to bait out the dive. They're saying, oh, go for the 4v2 dive. This looks free. And they're going to go for it. Now out comes Kiwikid. Now TL may have to bail out.
This is going to be Santorin. The ignites on him. He should fall, but he goes underground and gets the sustain from his passive. The Rek'Sai keeping him alive. And it looks like Quas may be able to keep himself good too. Lourlo wants to take the first tank, but they're not sure how to get on the turret damage. If they do, Matt actually takes it, puts a shield on himself.
Dardoch's gonna go down.
The rest of the team, Dardoch falls, red buff transfer. Lourlo's got it. The chase on Kiwikid should be sufficient now. But no, he's able to stand behind a minion, get himself to safety. What a scatter for an early skirmish.
Very hectic early fights, and NRG does get somewhat of an advantage as far as the first blood, but it is a kill traded back, and they're actually falling behind in the farm a little bit because of this, I guess. So we'll see who's going to be able to take down the next turret first. It looks like it should be TL, and let's watch this once again. So a clever start as Kiwikid does kind of pop out, surprise here, and unfortunately for TL, they're not able to take down Santorin right off the bat. Kiwikid does such a good job blocking off this and then flashes forward, stops Dardoch from finishing off Santorin. Kiwi delayed as best as he possibly could have here, and Quas now is basically trying to do what he can, but where does he go? And does get the tag, thankfully, over onto Dardoch with that jump, and is able to pick up first blood because of it.
What an extended fight. Mid lane wasn't even able to move during this. The teleport from FeniX. He didn't want to give GBM anything with his gold lead, and now Santorin thinks he has some free time to play in TL's jungle. Dardoch says that is incorrect. It's like Merc treads for Santorin right off the bat, and the knife coming in for Dardoch.
Yeah, a lot of Hecarim players have been electing to actually go Lucidity first before even any of the upgrades. He does get his Hunter's Potion instead, and that Chilling Smite, which is going to be very nice for him as well. But Lucidity has been really, really popular, and it's kind of the evolution of jungle buys. So many more people are going for these tier 2 boots first. You see it on Rek'Sai all the time, Merc treads in this game, but Tabby's early, the Lucidity's early on Hecarim. It's kind of becoming more and more common. Pretty cool.
And is it the fact that you're favoring the move speed and the stats are coming in to boot, or is it just that it's always better to do it anyway?
I think the move speed can be very effective, and specifically with a champion like Hecarim, when you're going for Lucidity, you're getting move speed, which means more damage on your E. You're getting Summoner spell reduction when you already have Insight and a low cooldown on the Ghost, so you can basically spam out your Ghost and have it up so much more often than someone will have their Flash. It kind of allows you to freely trade Summoners. You know, if you go mid lane, you pop your Ghost, but you're their Flash, it's a huge win for you then, because your cooldown's way low.
See more and more junglers trying to get themselves in and around to help snowball the lanes. This is one of the ways.
And Dardoch is 6 now, so you know, NRG may not be aware of this exact timing, but they do know that he was 5 last time they saw him. They can assume that he is 6 by this time, and they're going to have to be careful.
Oh, the speed was on to Matt. Pulls the culling short a little bit there, and they're actually still able to pull or take him down. Nice job by Oki there.
Yeah, really good job, and that's actually one of the advantages that they netted by putting their AD carry into solo lane, right? They had him by himself top, getting all the solo XP, so they had a massive level advantage, a level 6 AD carry to the level 4 support, and Fabbyyy was only 5. If Fabbyyy was 6, that wouldn't have worked.
Nope.
But because of how NRG allocated their resources, they give more XP to their AD carry, pays off with an early kill. Well played.
Yeah. And it's something that actually Liquid had the lead on. We saw them return to the bottom lane, but they chose to go for a very long dive, which they missed a lot of CS, missed those levels. And NRG ultimately hits 6 first, gets that advantage, 2-1, and Infernal will start off being theirs here, 9 minutes into the game. Not too much of a gold lead coming off of anything that's happened. It's very even. But NRG seems to have a read on the map for now.
Yeah, and honestly, it's FeniX that has been keeping TL in the game as far as the gold lead goes, because the dual lane disadvantage is fairly big. Lourlo, to be fair, has an advantage as well, but FeniX was up 20 CS moments ago, so he's doing pretty well, and things are looking good in that department. You know, the gold pretty much dead even though NRG has the extra kill, and that just means that TL is farming very, very well.
said before, GBM is kind of going back and forth, and Champion's been choosing. A lot of Malzahar lately shying away from the Viktor, but seeming to be able to control the lane much better here, even though down in CS, we would actually see GBM being pushed out of lane with 0 HP in recent games, and both deaths of the mid laners of the LCS, so
yeah,
this is a step in the right direction.
And he has one of the worst CS deficits of 10. And in this game, to be fair, he's going to be there right now. You know, he's down 14 right now as we do kind of cross that 10-minute mark. So 15 even. It's a pretty big deficit. You know, it doesn't sound like the most, but consistently being down that gold is impactful and can mean you reach those item breakpoints a little bit too late for fights. So you can see they're setting up for a gank here.
Ooh.
Ashe arrow is ready. Hecarim ult is ready. If they can hit this, it will be a kill. Will they go? Fabbyyy is in position. They would love to get this early kill off. We can see that. Here comes.
Just to the side. FeniX put a lot of pressure actually on GBM there to get him to start kind of feeling worried. May have helped dodge the arrow as well.
Yeah, still a good try. One of the things I really love about Fabbyyy when he plays Ashe is that he's not afraid to actually just try with these arrows. So many players are sitting at level 8, 9, 10, and they still haven't even used their first arrow. They're just waiting for the perfect time.
Yep.
And I appreciate this kind of play style, this mindset where it's like, hey, you shoot it out, maybe you miss, but at least you tried, and sometimes you hit and get a free kill.
Oh, had they followed, I don't know if GBM has the mana to do that, but
yeah, I think they could have got his flash for sure. If GBM stayed up there and just even dropped the ulti, it probably would have meant FeniX's flash. GBM did not think that they could do it. Gets a good base timing and anyway, and
he had the wave.
Yeah.
A few minions, base timing. He is back out, continues to level up. His second item. FeniX just using this pool to stay safe. They're putting quite a bit of pressure on.
Here comes Lourlo and Dardoch. They are looking, but it is warded out.
It'd be a great time to fight. FeniX wouldn't really be able to participate being so low. They know they can toy with the members of Liquid right now. They cannot fully back each other up. The arrow would come from bot lane, so they have quite a bit of time. It looks like NRG's actually going to get a bit of damage here on the turret. It should not go all the way down.
Yeah, and they're actually potentially setting up a dive here as Rek'Sai is kind of snaking around, and they have a heavy HP advantage, maybe even just trying to get a lot of damage down on this turret, which it's down to about a quarter health already.
Definitely a lot more than I thought they would be able to. Fabby's called over immediately.
Yeah. Dardoch maybe should have stayed to help them kind of clear that out, but did move off, and since NRG kept their guys there, we're able to be rewarded with quite a bit of chip damage, and means it's going to be a lot easier to take down when they return later on.
Setting that turret up. Some prepped gold for their pocket. Lourlo to the top. We talked a bit about him in champion selects, and now that he's getting these damage-dealing champions, can make plays on his own. 1v1. No more Maokai's. Sometimes even on the Trundle he was able to do it, but more times not so. Yeah. So this has been really good to see. A lot of talk about him on social media recently, and definitely what Team Liquid needed here towards the end of the split.
It certainly is, and I think he's always looked better on the guys that can be more kind of fighters and duelists and be more aggressive. But FeniX here, pretty far up.
Pulled pretty far out, throws down the Hemo Plague, back onto GBM, Tides of Blood comes out, and Dardoch rushes through. Onslaught of Shadows as well, and Kiwikid may find one more. It's not the Transcendent Blades that does it, it's FeniX, and he picks up two.
Two big kills for FeniX, and he is going to be off to the races. Already had that CS advantage. Give him 2 kills, and it is trouble as NRG bit off way more than they can chew. Dardoch came in. The collapse was really fast from TL. Great job.
No pressure on this wave that got pushed top lane. Everything's called back to the mid, and TL is getting everything to fall the way they want it. We'll see this fight one more time as well.
Yeah.
And another good arrow from Fabbyyy.
Exactly. The arrow coming across here is able to nail GBM. He's not playing with cleanse, and in comes Dardoch, executing the mid laner. Quas has to bail out, has to cancel the TP, which means Kiwikid is a free dive, and there was no other choice for Quas. He would have just died too. Wasn't even a mega. And the CS advantage is starting to get pretty big here for Lourlo, but he may get cut off. Senses it, getting out of there. Will he be in time?
One slow. He can call up Dardoch. No ghost, though. Ooh, Dardoch's just going to go ahead and turn around already in the jungle. Lourlo a bit too far up. The Pink Ward and the Tribe Rush has killed many a teammate. Yeah. Feels like pretty good security, but sometimes it's not enough.
Yeah, not in this case. And Lourlo would have had to early flash. He would have had to flash before they actually use theirs to make sure that even if they follow for the flash, they can't get the CC. Once they hit him with that CC, it was all over. And intelligently, he does not blow the summoner, but still, he should have popped that flash probably right away.
Yarim's fist stacking up for Quas. Looks like the Triforce. 2 items in for Lourlo. Slowly building up to these first core items. Nobody's really scored one yet. Obviously, FeniX, that Spirit Visage in mid, will allow him to stay in these fights and be such a nuisance.
He's going for that Proto Belt next, as he already has a second Kindle Gem. Vladimir loves the CDR, so he's already got 20% from his build. He's going to be tanky. This will allow him more ways to kind of get in on those fights, and it's a fantastic build, very common.
So what do these fights look like? Because you almost have 2 Bash brothers on each team in Hecarim and Irelia, Quas and Santorin, backlining. What does the peel look like? What are the frontliners?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more on Kiwikid to try to peel off for his team. And for TL especially, they're going to be diving deep. I think that FeniX can assist as far as backline dives. You have Dardoch and you have Lourlo. So it's kind of the 3-man squad that can go deep and really try to get onto GVM and OQ. And for NRG, I think it's more about kind of kiting backwards and trying to absorb that and then kill off the front line. Because I think if they exchange dives, Dardoch and Lourlo and FeniX will kill their backline much before Santorin and Quas can actually get work done.
Mountain now in favor of Liquid. It's going to actually help them once they get to these structures, especially if Lourlo's in a side lane by himself. Big wave to continue on, and Dardoch will give him a little bit of pressure towards that red side. Looks like actually Liquid's fine with splitting everything. It's like they're reading energy based on where they aren't in TL's vision. They're all on the dark side of the map, fine with us. We'll take where we have vision. Back right out.
No, that's exactly how you have to play it. Because if you look at the top side of the map, NRG has the entire jungle lit up with wards. They have such good deep vision right now. And really are kind of outpacing TL as far as that goes at this point. So TL has to play around where they know their opponents are. You can't actually be too aggressive. And sometimes the first step to being able to even become aggressive is reclaiming your own jungle. They need to clear out that vision, establish their sight lines, and then try to push them forward as they move up further on the map. And maybe go for even this kind of 1-3-1 style, which can be pretty powerful, having that Vladimir and
that buddy system back. Double Triforce picked up for Lourlo and Dardoch at the same time. They would love to get into a skirmish now. Be able to bounce somebody out of the fight immediately. Quas with that Frozen Mallet build. Looks like he'll give FeniX a little bit of trouble. Mid lane could get some love here. We still haven't seen anything work with these teleports for Team Liquid yet. They've actually been able to be in place for everything they need.
This is risky. See if the arrow hits.
This might be one of those teleports actually coming in. Oh, they take him down so quick. FeniX can just stay top. It's not even anything they have to worry about.
Yeah, not at all. And because Quas was building for the 1v1 against Lourlo, you rotate your Vladimir over there, and now Vladimir kind of has this nice matchup where there's no MR whatsoever on Quas, right? He has Ninja Tabbies, he has Adoran Shield, he has kind of this stuff that's great against the melee characters, but not so good in that 1v1. And another good arrow from Fabbyyy nets him another kill. He's been doing great, and I love the CDR build for Ashe. He's going to go Essence Reaver, pick up a Hurricane. Once you have that 30+% CDR, you can spam those arrows out.
He's already halfway done with that cooldown. Probably see many more arrows to come from him.
Oh yeah.
12 for FeniX, just a little bit over GBM still. Trying to see if GBM can kind of pop off in one of these games. The team needs it. Have to be able to keep him alive in these situations, and he's really not have too many core items. He's sitting on 1,600 gold, so that's why he's buying time. They're saying, let's not fight right now. I need to get another.
And TL's looking for bot lane turret. They have 3 men down here. Remember, they didn't even have to blow their ultimates to kill off Kiwikid. So this is a very scary defend here right now for Quas. Quas needs assistance, and they spotted Dardoch out in the river. They knew this was coming. No one rotated, and they're giving up so much free chip on that turret.
Double Triforce and Mountain. Quas finally pushes them back because Liquid actually knows there is a transfer of members. Good wardage right behind that red area. But very timid from both sides. TL's peeking in, but they know Energy can still come back with a pretty strong fight here. They're giving them good respect on both sides of the map.
Yeah, you certainly have to. Both teams still quite strong at this point. The gold lead is insubstantial, so yes, it's really about the engages, who gets those better fights, who gets the better picks. So far, though, I think that Trinity Force, kind of double Trinity Force power spike right now, is going to give TL a really big advantage in a lot of these fights, because this is kind of the key point in time for both of these champions. They're going to be ridiculously strong, and Vladimir on 2 items is fearsome, so they have a lot going for them. If those 3 members ever reach backline, OQ and GBM are going to be in so much trouble.
Gonna have to look at the bigger picture for Team Liquid soon. Coming up 20 minutes into this
Arrow's
game.
Risky at this point. They're looking for the collapse. TL wants to fight. Arrow's up.
Start that bigger picture right here. OQ, the back line gets hit. And Dardoch kind of deters the attack on Rift
Here's the
Herald.
arrow.
They may try to steal that right back. A nice shields from Kiwikid helps the team, but it may cost him his life. And Rift Herald will not be taken by anybody. Baron gets that one.
Good disengage from NRG, and Dardoch not willing to fully commit there, and I think it's the right choice. You don't want to dive deep without the rest of your team in play, and Lourlo was kind of pre-farming on the bot side, so they have that going for them as well. It looked, and I could be wrong, but it actually looked like Dardoch kind of messed up his combo. I think he ulted in and didn't actually use his E, so I think he actually missed the E damage on OQ. It looked like he actually activated after OQ had gotten away, so a little bit of an oopsie if that is the case, but I could be wrong.
Like he clicked the onslaught, realized he would have just E'd farther into the Baron area, or Herald, if you will.
Sometimes you can just one-shot that AD carry, though.
Feels good, man.
Oh, yeah, if you're the one doing the one-shot. Not when you get the AD carry, not so much.
I'm sure we'll see one-shotting. Lourlo's looking for that Blade of the Rune King almost next. Dardoch has the one-shot potential. Somebody is going to get zeroed out immediately. Probably not this guy, though. Quas, he is the one that needs to be quite tanky. We still see Cinderhulk over on the side of Santorin, so they can help, but one of those guys is going to be on the back line.
Yeah, it's even more scary when you bring in the Vladimir, because just the damage amp that he's adding in. You know, he drops the ultimate. Now all of a sudden you're taking even more damage from these bursty champions, and OQ may get chased down here.
Oh, the equilibrium strike. He is just flinging the blades everywhere. And that's what you're going to be seeing from the solo laner from the top side. He will take anybody on 1v1 now, giving Liquid more free time for the mid lane, other lanes. The 1-3-1 split here at 21 minutes in. It's really not getting them too far, but evening up the CS in each lane because they don't have enough power to win these fights right now.
Yeah,
the mid turret prepped up enough, though, they can take that down.
Yeah, good job by TL. Get another turret, and they are up a decent chunk of gold now, and both summoners were blown there by OQ, so it makes it really hard for them to look for these team fights because we know FeniX and Dardoch, even if Lourlo can't get there because he blew his flash, they have a lot of backline access still, and means the Lucian has very little threat.
Say if you ban our Sivir, we'll take another way to get right on top of you regardless. An arrow into the onslaught, and the rest of the Liquid is there just like they have the on the hunt. Just a little slower. You said that gold lead is starting to come into play, but GBM as well. Evened up the CS in mid. The Rylai's can start to facilitate a little more and help catch these skirmishes in the favor of NRG. And they start to put down the wards so they can find those picks, find a few members out, and then start to gain the map control back.
And if GBM can ever kind of get behind Fabbyyy or get up in Fabby's face, the amount of damage this Viktor can put out on an Ashe who doesn't have a dash to easily get out of that ultimate is ridiculous. It's so hard to actually escape that if you're one of the less mobile AD carries. You can't just kind of dash out, fade shift out. You need the flash essentially to be able to survive at all. Across the board though, a lot of items coming in. OQ has his 2 major items and means he should be very strong as far as that goes. GBM done too. Quas building up some MR for himself so he can kind of match up better against FeniX. He has the Hex Drinker, and we can see 2 items done for Dardoch. Blade of the Rune thing now done on Lourlo. So these guys are really bringing in a lot of their major items, and it's just going to kind of come down to a lot of neutral objectives probably if they can't get the picks. You know, who's actually going to be able to draw the other one out of the base and look for something. And smart by Quas.
Like that ward clear felt weird. It is coming down to uncertainty almost. You feel like either team could win a huge fight in the mid lane and open this right up.
Yeah.
The AoE has to be avoided by NRG. And right now, really, they don't have to force any fights. They're getting forced with the bot lane, though. That's going to be the Gnar onto Lourlo. I don't know if they're going to be able to get Quas. He flashes over the wall. He'll be safe. Actually, still has flash up. popped himself over the wall.
Here comes GBM.
Finally out of the mid lane. Are we going to get some actions from these guys?
Oh, the arrow nails OQ.
It's going to be OQ possibly. Yes, he is down, and now they're turning for Dardoch, but he's swinging. He's helicoptering, and Kiwikid's going to have to ult him to stop. FeniX could take down GBM. The slow is there to return, and the kill coming in from Fabbyyy. Very nicely done by TL.
Disaster for NRG as the team gets split. There was no one focus firing. Dardoch walks through the entire team at low HP, wins a duel on the backside, and then Fabbyyy with the sniper arrow through the whole team, tags OQ, which means the AD carry can't contribute at all. And this is the inhibitor getting cracked at 24 minutes.
This is where those Triforce and Mountain Drake really start to pay dividends, and they are going to walk out with the inhibitor down. And that's huge. Now they could work top side of the map. For this to happen bottom side, they have so much more control now. The volleys should continue to come in. A nice mantra shield, and everybody is running home safely. And see this fight one more time, because it looked a little sticky situation for a while.
It definitely looked
but
nice.
Good focus on the turret.
Yeah, and they do take down that turret, importantly, and Quas has to bail out because he's already at low health. So now watch Dardoch in this fight. The whole team comes, but look at GBM, he's kind of going past him. He runs through the rest of the team, so now they're split. It's only Santorin fighting on the backside. GBM's kind of running down here. They're all kind of, oh, where do we go? And now Dardoch's able to win the fight against Santorin. Kiwikid flashes back there to try to help him out, but that's already too late. And GBM's off on the other side in like a 1v3, so it just seems like they were not on the same page. Yep. Yes, this fight was going to go bad no matter what once OQ got hit by the arrow, but Kiwikid gets tagged again.
Let's see, we saw a flash heal from Fabbyyy in that last play. What's the risk reward? It looks like the reward is big for the risk. Onslaught of Shadows straight through. Hemo playing on 2 members. GBM looking to get in for extra damage before he goes down valiantly. And Quas tries to scoop FeniX back. He'll pull out of this one. No, goes down as Sanguine was also on cooldown. And Team Liquid is starting to find all the priority targets, and it doesn't look like NRG's able to answer that much.
Yeah, and this could be a second inhibitor. I mean, they could be cracking this one as well. They have the minion wave, and it's only Santorin alive. They are low on health, so do they want to actually risk it? Looks like they're going to make the call to pull back.
Huge wave top.
Yeah. Also, a lot of gold to spend up at this point, so why take the risk? And here it goes once again. Fabbyyy says, you're too far forward, Kiwikid. Throws out the arrow. He's already taking a lot of damage. And then watch this initiation from Dardoch. Beautiful. Nails both the carries with that fear. They get pushed right back into the fight. Everyone is just raining down damage. And you can see Fabbyyy in the backline taking a ton from GBM here. Almost gets taken out. But FeniX is able to chase. There's so much disruption from the Steel squad that it's hard for NRG's backline to actually free fire.
There's so much movement as well. There's no way you can peel this Irelia and Hecarim. They're everywhere.
And FeniX, who has the Rylai's now too. So it's so tough. It's one of these squads where if you let them get ahead, they just pile in on your carries. And how do you put out enough damage to take them down when you're just running for your life?
If you don't, they just dash everywhere. Yeah. The location you choose,
arrow comes out.
Got him! Oh, it hits GBM right in the kisser. This should be the follow-up kill from Liquid. And on to Kiwikid. A 2-for-1, 3-for-1. Can they keep going? The arrow just keeps on giving. And Quas could be the next target. TL now playing with their food inside the base here. Santorin's going to be pushed right out. He's trying to say, Ali, Ali, Oxenfree. He's like, I'm out. You can have it. It's yours. We'll come back for the next one. And NRG is going to have some things to discuss here between the break because game 1 looks like it could be going to Liquid.
Yeah, they're pushing in with the bot lane wave. Supermans are here. Everybody is dead. It's a 5-man Liquid squad looking to take the Nexus at 28 minutes.
The turrets, the Nexus, not long for this world. And a sub-30-minute game coming out of Liquid as they need to start making statement wins towards the end of the split and get these preparations ready for playoffs. Game 1, Team Liquid takes down NRG.
They make it look easy, Riv. This was... wow. I mean, it was close for quite a while, but when it broke open, it was like the floodgates just, they absolutely destroyed them in a couple consecutive fights, and there was no coming back for NRG as once Liquid got ahead, they kept getting initiation after initiation, and so much credit has to go over to Fabbyyy for finding these arrows. It felt like he was just hitting every single one, and not just on the free targets like Kiwikid in the front line. He's hitting OQ in the jungle. He's hitting GBM in the mid lane, just great.
There are a few calibration arrows in the beginning. Like, oh, all right, tighten up
the wind's off a little bit, you know, okay, yeah.
And then everyone after that from off the screen, hit them right where it counts. and they come out strong with a Game 1 win. To break down that Game 1, let's check in with Dash and the analysts.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Team Liquid.